And in business, South African wool farmers have asked for the Chinese government to end its ban on wool exports from South Africa. The National Wool Growers Association of South Africa and AgriSA are concerned the ban will result in major job losses in the industry. South Africa wool producers export 70% of their product to China, worth approximately $300 million per year, and has been barred from exporting to that country since April. Beijing banned the wool following the recent foot and mouth disease outbreak in parts of South Africa. But Agri SA and the National Wool Growers Association of South Africa say the ban was unwarranted. They say no disease had been recorded in wool-producing areas. The first wool auction for the 2022/23 season is expected to take place in mid-August. Now, join us live on News Central now to discuss this topic further is South Africa Wool Growers Association General Manager Leon de Beer. Thank you so much, Leon, for joining us on the news.
Thank you, and good day to all the viewers and yourself.
Good day. Now, Leon, what actually precipitated the ban on wool from South Africa?
Well, basically, it was the outbreak of foot and mouth disease we had outside of the control zone, and that made them put in the ban. Now, unfortunately, the ban is based on perceptions that the disease is out of control in South Africa, but still we have protocols in place that is based on the World Organization of Animal Health codes, which stipulates that after shearing, wool need to be stored at certain minimum set temperatures for a specified period of time, and then raw wool would be safe for export. So we have those protocols in place in our export stores. They were all registered with the Chinese authorities, and they are still in place as from 2019. So we are in dire straits, and we need to convince the Chinese authorities that these protocols are indeed in place and that our wool is safe for export.
Okay, Leon, looking at the reasons for this ban, it has lasted for 7 months now. What has been the effect on wool producers?
Well, it has a major effect. Many of our producers came through a very serious drought recently, a drought that extended over at least 6 years. So without the wool check, they will absolutely have a big problem to survive economically. Secondly, we have about 35,000 farm workers in the industry, and many of those jobs will be at risk. And then we have close to 40,000 small-scale producers, and these producers will generally goes to China. They are exported to China, so it will be also a difficult time. Many of them will fall back into poverty, and obviously we have about 4,500 sheep shearers and wool classes who are also dependent on the wool industry to make a living.
Now, the Chinese market is a major one for South African producers. Are you able to find alternative buyers for your wool?
Yeah, maybe I should start by saying that as the ban was introduced in April, our buyers went ahead and still purchased wool for export to China until June, when the market closed for this season. And the losses thereof is close to 734 million rand. If you divide that by 16, that will give you a dollar figure. Our brokers over the closed season, as our next season will open now on the 17th of August, which is the day after tomorrow, when the first auction will take place. During the off season, our brokers and buyers went to look for alternative markets, which included Europe, and Egypt, and so on, and India. So they did manage to source alternative markets, but as you said, 70 up to 80% of our wool is exported to China annually, and that makes it difficult the volumes is just too much. So only for the good quality wools and wools that are certified against a sustainable standard will really have a market in Europe at this point in time.
Now, Leon, you're asking the Chinese government to end this ban on wool export. Are there any negotiations in place to try and change the situation, and has the government been able to intervene?
Yeah, absolutely. We had the Director General for Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development visiting our industry recently. We also took him through the broker stores so that they can see firsthand that the protocols are still in place. So on a high level, that has been done. We also made a video that we translate it into Chinese and send it to the Chinese authorities so that they can take note of the protocols in place. And then it has been escalated now to our Minister for Agriculture, Minister Tokududiza, as also the Minister of Trade and Industry, Mr. Abraham Patel. So both of them are working at very high level to convince the Chinese that the protocols are in place. And recently it was also taken to the office of the presidency. So we are sure that our government is working hand in glove with the Chinese authorities to get this process going forward.
All right, we do hope that this please will be heard. Thank you so much, Leon, for joining us on the news at this time.
Thank you very much.